clothing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Then
Isn't
literally,
it?
that's
what you did.
It felt like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
absolutely.
And so then once we had the property, then we imagined we came in, and then because each property would have been a different type of thing in there, we would have different colors, different setup, different everything.
Yeah.
And because you have to kind of feel it and alter it to the space, I think. And
Yeah.
so that's what we did. So we came in here, we spent a week or more just sitting in the place.
Yeah,
Imagining
feeling
how
it.
it should be
Yeah.
and feeling it, and then built it after that.
Making that connection also, and feeling
Yeah.
the energy.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. But I do love it. I love the shop.
And before you started looking, you guys had the idea, oh yeah, let's do this in Amsterdam, okay. Like, did you do research as well? Like, did you guys, like, did you start research from Ireland? Like, would it be smart to come to Amsterdam and start something like this?
No, we did general research in the business, so we have a business plan. So we obviously, once we decided what we were going to do, we developed a business plan, and that of course involves research and looking at demographics and looking at all these different aspects of it. But before that, no, we knew we came to Amsterdam because we wanted to live in Amsterdam, and then we put the business on. So it wasn't the other way around. We didn't choose Amsterdam because we wanted to open a business here. We choose it because we wanted to live here.
Yeah,
and then
the business came.
We knew we would have a business.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the decision to come here was because we just wanted to live in it.
Yeah.
But research-wise, no, it was more researching the business aspect of it, as opposed to choosing why it was.
Yeah, or which area in Amsterdam or anything like that.
Well, we didn't, but that was after we found, you kind of fit things in after you look them. So we kind of researched this area after we decided we wanted to come to this area. And then you find all the reasons to come here.
That's
now we did look
good.
at other places. We looked at Haarlemmer Dijk and Haarlemmer Straat.
Okay.
We looked at, and that's also a great area.
Yeah, it's a lovely area.
I would have been, but the properties there were too expensive for the square footage. This is also a very expensive neighborhood, but it's a great residential neighborhood. And it's we felt our client base were definitely living around here. And
absolutely,
I think that's true.
No, for sure, for sure. And I think that like even just how it looks and what you're presenting is just, I think, perfect for this area and who is living here. You have lots of families and mothers with young children.
Perfect.
And
absolutely.
It's
exactly. It's an area for young families, and young families are exactly, because I think if you are in any way conscious of the world you're living in, and you have young children, I think our shop has to come onto your radar at some stage.
Absolutely. No, it's absolutely perfect. And the idea of having to bring your own jars, and this was always part of you always wanted to have a shop like this, right? In your vision?
Yes and no. I mean, we had never, in fact, to this day, I think, I've never been in a zero waste shop or a bulk shop, and neither has Maria. So we had to.
That's really
try and
awesome.
Figure out how it would work.
Yeah,
it was literally, we just had the idea of a package-free store. In fact, our original slogan that we were using was zero waste, plant-based. That was how we called it, zero waste.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And when we looked. Then we started to look online, and we realized that actually there's lots of around the world. We weren't doing something entirely new. People had already done this, and it was only beginning to happen. But there's definitely shops like this opening all over the world.
Yeah, totally.
And so then we would research them online, and we found others that we thought, oh, that's nice. We picked something from there, from there. But it was all online. I've never been in a shop, and so we had to try and make it up as to how it would actually work, and. Yeah, the jars came natural. People bring their own jars, and then we sell jars as well, of course.
Yeah, no, it's
Cotton
wonderful.
bags make sense.
Yeah,
and we just kind of took it. Just followed our instinct as to how we would want to shop in a place like this, and they just implemented it.
And how do you feel it's been received here, like your shop?
I think. It's one of those things that it's well received by the community who are looking for it, and ignored by the community who are not. And so I think it's as simple as that. So there's a growing population of people who are looking for this, who realize, like we did in the West, that there's so much plastic waste at the end of a week, at the end of the day in our rubbish, and it's panic. You nearly panic when you start to think what you're
absolutely
producing
what you're doing
and what's happening to the world because of it. And so I think people are becoming more and more aware every day of that. And so they find us. And then we have to try and convince those who aren't awake yet, or aren't aware yet, or haven't thought about this yet, or really haven't thought too much about it, or are leaving it up to the government, or leaving it up to others to sort. That we have to try and find a way of reaching out to them to try and say. So there's an element of education involved in it as well.
And, of course, absolutely.
Of trying to get people, but ultimately, those who want to find us are finding us, and it's growing. And so we're kind of lucky that we're in a business that definitely people both are finding us, and I think it's a growing movement.
Because you've been open now for a year and a half or something, right?
Yeah, just over a year. So a year and a month or two now,
And you also got is that something that I saw as well, that you got a specific designer in who was making like the containers for you? And
no, it's a friend of ours.
Okay.
A friend of my sister's, and she lives in Berlin, and it's a friend of hers in Berlin. She came here, and we were discussing the problem of how we were going to dispense all the dried foods without getting the standard plastic, because we researched online and all the dispensers were plastic. And so we said, I just
and they
don't
usually
do
work
that.
so crappy too, because these are so good.
Really good.
Yeah, really, like really, really good. Because I did, as you know, I did work for a co-op, which is very similar to your shop in Australia, called Alfalfa House, and we had those. Like for a while, like we got some new dispensers in, I think, and we were always, one with the handle going like this, and it was, I was always finding with them, and this is just wonderful.
Yeah, it works really well, and we were discussing it, and she said, my friend Richie, he's a carpenter, and he'll help you sort it out, because we wanted to make it. We wanted to make it from wood and glass. That was the main thing, But I'm not a carpenter, so I didn't know how do you. Again, so we know
you nearly were, but then you weren't.
Exactly. Yes. So Richie, we brought him from Berlin, and we brought him and we spent a couple of days in the shop designing it together. And going through it and how it would work. And he came up with the idea for the water taps at the bottom, which are really great. And he went back to his studio and he made it in Berlin. And then I rented a van and I drove to Berlin and we picked it up.
Wow, amazing!
And then put it in here. But
so cool.
Yeah, he did a great job, and we're really happy with it.
No, I really think it works really, really well. And also, how did you go from like? Do you mainly work with Dutch companies for all the produce that you're selling, or the products that you're selling, or
it's all I think it's, as of now, all Dutch companies. Yeah.
And how did you, when you first started, like, was that also a bit of a research of like...
That's the hard part.
I just want to say, that's
the hard part. The hard part is the research that's involved in finding suppliers. It's not even finding suppliers. You'll always find suppliers, but finding the right suppliers.
Absolutely.
And that what I mean by that is those that kind of have shared values as what you're trying to do, those that have good quality products at prices you can afford to sell. So there's a whole range of things there. And a good example for us that when we opened was, so we're a plastic-free store and we're a vegan store. So those two things, there's lots of great vegan products out there that come in plastic. There's lots of great non-vegan products that are in great packaging. But when you try and put the two of them together, you're very limited in finding the kind of products.
I totally understand.
So we did an awful lot of work. We had empty shelves for a long time, and we try and just build them, and I think the only reason we have survived is simply because myself and Maria worked night and day ourselves and had no staff every day for the first, at least probably year. The first year was literally the two of us working like crazy. And,
smashing it.
And that's the only way that we managed to survive. If we had opened the doors and started paying staff and had managers and cleaners and all of the above, we'd have closed those doors 9 months ago.
So much sacrifice as well.
Doing all that work, all that research. Maria's great at research and great at many other things, but she was really good at finding the suppliers that we needed to work with. And we have some very good Dutch wholesalers. One of them is Do It is its name. It's one of our main suppliers, and it's here in the Netherlands for at least 30-40 years. Organic, one of the main organic founders, if you want to say that, of the business here. And they're good. So there's finding the right people is really important.
And do you and Maria have like real clear like role division of like this is what you do in the business and this is what I do in the business, or do you really kind of run it all together, or do you have skills?
Yes and no.
She has hers,
yes and no. I mean, yes, in that we do have different skills and we tend to apply those skills. But then we kill each other too, you know. like there's always a crossover.
Yeah.
It's like it's not that simple, you know. Yeah. Certainly the business would at times cause tremendous problems for us.
Yeah, of course.
As a couple.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. You're also always together too.
Always together. You go home and then you know, do you continue that conversation at
home? You take it home with you.
Yeah,
work.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
And then you have where you're trying to. There's a power struggle, and then there's power. So a decision has to be made.
Yeah.
And you have different views.
Yeah.
That becomes a problem.
And there's no one in between. It goes, okay, Winter. Okay, Maria, you know, take a minute.
And it does become a power.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course.
And so that can be. So there's. Yeah, it's difficult at times. But ultimately, I think she knows what I'm good at, and I know what she's good at.
Yeah.
And overall, when she's doing the things she's good at, I don't interfere. And when I'm good at the things...
Yeah.
So what I would be good at is, I work in the shop.
Yeah.
I'm good with people.
Absolutely.
And that would be my main skill, is working and dealing with people.
Yeah.
Also strategy, about thinking about the business strategy I'm very good at.
Yeah.
And she would be very good with everything artistic.
Yeah.
She's also good with people, but it wouldn't be her natural inclination. She doesn't really want to do it. She's more like somebody working away behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Really good at anything artistic, all the color scheme, all the design elements. I'd leave all that up to her because she has a talent for it.
Yeah.
And also the Instagram, she's great photographer, video, anything to do with that.
Yeah.
And on top of all that, she's a great cook and she works in the shop, and so there's a you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all that type of stuff as well.
Yeah. Because you also run, well, right now, of course, with Corona, you have restrictions, but you also run a cafe within the shop, right?
We did until Corona, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
We had there's a little cafe section within the shop, which is really nice too, because it helps create that community aspect to it. So the neighborhood come in. I really love nothing more than neighbors coming in, sitting down, having a coffee together. Yeah. And they
meeting
may never,
each other.
Yeah, and they may never shop in the shop. They're not. They may be an older kind of people who really aren't into zero waste shopping, and they'll go off then and go to Albert Heijn. But that doesn't bother me. No. What I like is that it is a community business.
Absolutely.
And I really wanted, from day one, we wanted it to be part of the community, and having the cafe helps that enormously.
Well, also the feeling of like nearly the living room feeling, right? Like you're coming into someone's home. I felt that very much when I met you first as well.
Amazing.
And also because the shopping itself takes a longer time, right? Like people are walking around, they're taking their time, and that's also something I think that you are providing that you might not even notice, but it is. I think you are also. It's nearly sometimes a meditative experience, you know, to be like, oh, I can just calm down. It's music on, like, I can just do my thing. And whereas, as I call the stupid market, is usually, you know, way more stressful, and like people are, people everywhere, and so it's also really lovely that I feel like there's this energy that's also so like, you know, it's calming you down just to walk in, and the light is so nice, and. You know, I think that it's a wonderful experience, even to just,
It's nice to hear that, and I think, and I think it's true. I've heard it from it was a surprise for me, because it's definitely slow shopping. You come to the shop, everyone takes their time here. If we were an internet business, we'd be making a fortune, because people spend a lot of time with us. You know?
Yeah, totally, totally.
And they come in and they spend an awful lot of time here, and they and I thought that would be a an obstacle or a hindrance for people. But people have told me they love it.